Ladies and gentlemen, grab your tea. It's tea talk time with Lady O. Here's Lady O.
Thank you, Tracy. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Tea Talk Time. I'm so excited about today, as we always have some wonderful topics to discuss with you and to give you information that you may find helpful. Just sharing what God has given to us. So today, we're going to be talking about health and wholeness. And as y'all can see, I've got my T-shirt on that says "Fit to Serve." Guys, we have got to get our bodies fit so we can serve our families, serve our communities. But today we're going to be talking about serving ourselves. We're going to talk about self care because one thing that we as women do, we take care of everybody else, make sure everybody else has, but in the end, we fall out lacking. So that's not going to happen this year. So, we're going to be talking today about some things that will be very, very interesting to you about health and wholeness of the mind, the body, the soul, and the emotions. Those things have to be balanced. If you've got everything else together, your emotional health is out of control, it's a hot mess. And that's what really happened to our country. I mean, a lot of emotions were all over the place of anger and racism and feeling like you've been lied to and, feeling defeated. All of those things happen. So those are your emotional things. And you can look like the picture of health and be an emotional wreck. Or you can be emotionally sound and then just be totally out of health with your body. You can be, sickness and disease and overweight and all of those kind of things that we, have to deal with. Taking medications and all those kind of things because our body is not balanced. So we want to make sure that everything is balanced. So we're going to talk about all of those things today. So as we come back this Saturday, this Sunday from the weekend of the inauguration, we're still just floating on cloud nine because of what happened and how nobody but God could have orchestrated and allowed the weather and everything to be at peace. You would never have believed it if you hadn't seen it for yourself, that everything was so peaceful. And then a few days earlier, it was like a war somewhere in a third world country. So, and that was all because of emotional health. These people were coming from all different backgrounds, doctors, lawyers, teachers, police officers, everything. But the emotions were overflowing to a place where they were unhealthy. And when your emotions are unhealthy, you'll do and say some crazy things. I don't know. How about you? Anybody ever been in an emotional situation? Whether it's been depression or anger or betrayal, we've all been there, women, right? But I was so happy to see our new president, President Biden, and Vice President Kamala Harris, and they just really shifted the atmosphere and settled it down. I don't know about you, I needed that because I was really, last year was really kind of rough for me because I was feeling a lot of emotions of hurt and betrayal. And with my friends, I felt like they should have been speaking up for right. And I, kind of wondered in my heart and started feeling that kind of funny way. Are they really good friends to me? Are they really good people? And the answer came with our president this year, this inauguration. He said, "These are good people. It's just that they've been with some kind of emotional thing going on. They have ventured off the path." And what I love about his speech, so many wonderful things, but he said on there that there's enough of us to lead or to save the rest of us. So the country is here and everybody's not on one accord. Everybody's kind of, different things. And it looked like we're divided, but we're not divided exactly in half. The majority of the people are emotionally healthy enough to save the other people. So we have to not just look at ourselves and see each other as enemies. We're not enemies. We are Americans, and we must see ourselves that way. And we must look at our brothers and sisters who are caught up in an emotional situation. We must seek to understand why they're feeling that way and care about them, not talk about them and not want to fight against them. him because I was like ready to just throw in the towel and say, just forget it. But you know what? That's a ploy of the Satan, because if I throw in the towel and I never want to talk and I feel like it's hopeless, then what does that say about me and my relationship with God? It is not hopeless. There are enough of us to carry the rest of us. And we carry them and we extend that listening ear, that loving heart to bring them back. He also said we're going to lead by our example. We're going to model it. So we'll model with them and keep praying for them and loving them until they can see what's really going on. And we got to fight and pray. We got to fight against the evil ones, that the emotions have gone over into evilness. And when it goes over into evilness, then you will do things that you may think you're right. But it's never, ever okay to get so emotionally upset that you can hit a person, strike a person, curse a person out, kill a person, overthrow the government. You can never get to that. Then it becomes that it is not of God, it is of Satan. You become a tool of Satan. And you know what I was looking at when I was just really so sad about it is because what happens is Satan throws a rock, hides his hand, and then he lets us get in there against each other, thus good people, and we destroy each other. So we cannot destroy each other. We will not destroy each other. Another thing he said too is that we are starting to write the story of the new America. So we're going to make sure that we write the story of what I did that helped to heal. We are writing a story to make sure that we are healing. We're part of the healing process, not a part of destroying and destruction. So that's what I wanted to just share with you this morning about what's been going on this past week. And we're ready for our show today, but I can't go on right without talking about Miss Kamala Harris. So because she was just, had the whole world wearing pearls. Everybody was wearing pearls. I had my pearls. I even saw little girls wearing pearls. So we're just so happy that she broke the glass ceiling. Okay, she didn't tap on it; she broke it. Everybody say she broke the glass ceiling. And so all of those things are things that let us know that God is still working. And he's in control. And even though it looks like evil is winning, you cannot think of it that way. You got to remain emotionally healthy and think on these things. Think on peace. Think on love. All those beatitudes, go back and read your Bible and think on those. And when you think on those, then you speak those things, even when it looks like it's not right. Because it says, out of the heart, out of the mouth flow the issues of the heart. So you got to think in your mind and your emotions, keep it under control so that we can help build this story of America. Another thing that Biden said was that, what will our kids say about us? What kind of America are we leaving them? So we got to make sure that we leave this America in a way that's healthy, emotionally. All right. So that's our emotional part. And with that, we're going to bring our first guest on. I've got two guests today, and both of them have been they have just been really on a journey of health and wholeness and wellness, emotionally, physically. We've got some weight loss going on, and we've got some bodybuildings where we do the workouts. What do you call it? I wanted to hire one of those special trainer. So we got all of those things that they can tell you about their journey, how they did it. So be ready to write questions in the comment box, and all of our team is going to be looking for your questions, and we'll answer any question you have of our guests. So make sure you comment and you ask your question, because we want to have you, as you leave this show today, you're going to be healthy, and you will know how to be healthy mentally, physically, and emotionally and spiritually. And so this is the will of the Lord. The thing that I'll say about the spiritual thing is that, as I said before, if it's not of God, it's of Satan. Okay. So you got to look at whatever you do, whatever you say, whatever situation you're in, is this of God? And so we saw that God was in this, because all the people who prophesied that Trump would win again, he did not win. And so now they got to go back and say they missed it. They missed it. They missed God, because what? God was not in it. So when you go back and look at things, you have to ask yourself in the end, did God win or did Satan win? And our democracy won and our God won. So we have to go back, and when we're wrong, we have to admit, hey, I thought that's what God said, but I missed God, and get it right. But you cannot, just let it go that you said something and misled a lot of people. So the spiritual part of it, that's what we're talking about that day today. Leadership, making sure you lead people the right way, lead your family the right way, lead your mouth and your emotions the right way, in a way that is pleasing to God. Okay, Miss Shelley. Miss Shelley, come on. Miss Shelley is one of our producers here, and she is responsible for our two guests today. So I wanted her to come on and introduce them because Shelley herself, Shelley, how much weight did you lose?
I lost about 40 pounds. I was 170
About 40
and now
pounds.
I'm down to
Yeah,
130-ish. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
she also it walks very and exercises, keeps her body in shape. So when we talked about this show today, I said, Shelley, hey, can you get me somebody? What do you think? And so she got me two wonderful guests. So I want you to
Yeah.
just give an introduction to our first guest today.
Okay, the first guest is Tamika Casanova. And Tamika was actually the first trainer that I had. And she was an awesome trainer. She helped me to get in shape and to tone my body just like I wanted it. So when you asked me, I said Tamika would be the perfect person. She is a wellness expert that has over 20 years experience in the healthcare industry. And her goal is to help other women or people in general to reach their optimal health. And
Okay.
that's really what her desire is. And
Yeah.
so I'll let her tell more about that. But that just
Yeah.
gives you some background about her.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, Tamika, I love that phrase, optimal health. Talk to me about that.
Yes,
Welcome to
good
TikTok.
afternoon. Lady O, thank you for having me here. It's such a pleasure to be able to share this platform. I'm really excited to just share my personal experience, my personal knowledge, and also help the ladies and the other individuals that are tuned in. So when I say optimal health, I'm talking about, like you said, inclusive health, the mind, the body, and the spirit. A lot of times people don't realize that your emotional well-being is very closely connected to your physical well-being. But sometimes that's not a conversation that we're all willing to have. So sometimes we suffer in silence and we don't take into consideration how important it is to be emotionally well and have that strong mind-body connection, right? So that we're physically well.
Perfect. So when you're looking about mental health and mental wellness and emotional wellness, is there any advice or things that you would say about getting started on a journey to wholeness about your emotions or your wellness? If people maybe imbalanced emotionally, how do they know that they are?
Well, when I think of health and wellness, one thing I like to share with people that I work with, change happens in two phases, internally and then externally. What happens
Okay.
is we become conditioned to working on the outside, right? We fix the outside, but then the inside still has a lot of work to be done. But because we look, like you say, we appear to look well and feel well on the outside, sometimes we forego that anxiety, the insomnia, depression, the loneliness, the parts of our social well-being. Sometimes we don't have those relationships, those good relationships with people around us. So when we talk emotional well-being, it's very, very, very important that women and men do an emotional check. When you're thinking about, I want to be well, what does that mean to you? Is that a number? Is that a look? How are you emotionally? How are you emotionally? Are the goals that you're setting, is it realistic based on your emotional well-being?
Wow.
Another thing that I would like to throw in too, sometimes we set goals without taking into consideration our environment. Is it conducive to helping you and supporting you in reaching those goals? So it's a lot entangled in there, but emotional well-being is very, very important, especially in the African American communities. I say that because African American women are a pillar of strength, of love, we are a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of information. And a lot of times we suffer. We expose ourselves, or we are exposed to chronic stress, and we take it on without calling a timeout to say, hey, not today.
Wow. Wow. I love that. Call a timeout. And I think we just have to do that. I've gotten to the point now, I mean, because I get up so early and I work all day long, and whatever is on my schedule that day, I tend to just keep working to try to get all of it done. But I then by the nighttime, I'm just so exhausted and I can't even think straight. So, and I have meetings at night. That's a lot of times when people are from work. So I have to meet with ministry people, I have to meet with, different companies and so forth. So I have to do that some evenings and I'm exhausted. So what I start to do is call a timeout and take a nap. I say, so I need to take a nap just to kind of, and it makes so much difference when I get up that I can think clearly and I'm a better me. And so, and I don't like the part when you talked about, you said that we appear to look well. Oh, we're beautiful. We got the nails, we got the hair, we got the makeup. We appear to look good, be healthy, but we're really not healthy inside. So we focus so much on the outside and spending money to make the outside look great. On the inside, we're a hot mess.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, I like that timeout thing. So are there things that we can do?
Absolutely.
More timeouts? Go ahead.
So when you talk health and wellness, and we talk, living well, loving yourself, mind, body, and spirit, the first place all of us want to start is physical. I'm going to go exercise. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to start drinking this amount of water. I'm going to fast. I'm going to weigh myself. Imagine all of that on your plate, right? It's too much, too soon, too fast. And what happens is you run out of gas.
Wow.
It's not sustainable.
So we're trying to do too much at one time. We said we're gonna go all in. We're gonna do all these things, and what we're saying is there's too much, too fast.
Yep, you crash and you burn. And another thing we don't take into consideration, I really want to emphasize the mind, the body, the spirit. We focus on the body, the physical, remember, and the nutrition. But science and research shows that you are a whole person. Of course, we know that. So when we talk whole person health, there's actually 5 dimensions of health and wellness that you can start at. That's your emotional well-being.
Okay.
So when you're thinking about getting into shape, you don't actually have to start working out immediately. You can start with the emotional part. You can start with the social part. The social part is, who am I around? Am I around other women and men that are healthy? Am I around someone that has actually lost weight? Somebody that I can go to and rely on if I have questions. Environmental. Is my house set up? Do I have access to a gym? Where do I live? Do I have access to a park? And then financial wellness. Financially, are you prepared to buy those healthy foods? What can you afford to do for where you are? And then we talk about the physical dimension. And like I said, traditionally, we approach that as exercise. But are you physically well enough to even exercise? Do you have back pains? Do you have full-blown migraines that keep you in bed? Maybe your knees are not, 100% to where you can't get out and walk and run like you would like to. So those are some different areas to consider when approaching that mind, the body, and the spirit as you begin to set those goals for how you want to become healthy.
Right. All right. Is that a picture of you? Who's that, Cora? Oh, she's coming up next. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong picture here. Okay, very good. Well, I was writing those down because, I think that emotion is so key to get that right first. And what I wrote down was key to it helping is, do you have the social support? Are you around other healthy emotional people? I think that's kind of key, because if you're like a person who is, full of mess, or a messy person, who are you talking to? Who is talking into you? Are they feeding you in unhealthy junk stuff? So you got to kind of get that circle around you who can help you socially and the environment. I like that you mentioned the park, because a lot of people say, well, I don't have money to join a gym. You don't need money to join a gym. There are plenty of nice parks around that you can use. And I know Shelley really does a lot out in Open Park. And the financial part, what are you willing to afford? Now, let me say something about that. I would say that what are you willing to sacrifice? Because we spend our money on a lot of things. Are you willing to sacrifice to put it on things that can help you achieve your goal? And are you willing to even ask someone, like for your birthday, instead of giving me this, give me that, or give me that so I can help me with my goal? And then you came down to the physical part. So that was really great. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for sharing. Don't go away. We have some other things we want to ask you about. Let's see. We've got really about, well, you've got about a few more minutes. Is there anything else that you would like to say to us? Because it looks like you've got a few more minutes in your area there.
Sure.
Are there any questions, guys? Just kind of help me here. Any questions for Tamika?
Don't be shy.
If not,
I'm
just
not
keep.
shy.
Go
Feel
ahead.
free to use that chat box, pick my brain. The number one thing that I would like to encourage Black women to do is be kind to yourself. Be kind to
Oh,
yourself.
wow.
And that starts with loving and accepting yourself just as you are. If that's a few pounds overweight, you've got to be able to embrace that in order to be able to progress to that next step. So most of all, be kind to yourself.
Oh, I like that. Be kind to yourself. And that's why we phrase this first month self-care, because a lot of times we're the most critical of ourselves, because we, say, oh, I'm too this, I'm too that, or my hair is not right, or my nose isn't right, my lips aren't right, my body isn't right. So love who you are, and then we will be able to have that right mind. You know what I mean? I think a lot of things, we're self-destructive. Self-esteem is bad. And I think it's because number one, you have not learned to love yourself. I like to say, let me write down some things that are good about me. And I would encourage all of you to write down, and if you don't know anything, have a couple of good friends and say, hey, what do you like about me? And believe them. If they tell you that, hey, you're really good at this, or I really like your nose, or whatever, or your hair is beautiful. Don't say, oh no, my hair is not beautiful. It's not, don't put yourself down. So receive that. That's good. I like that. Be kind to yourself.
Absolutely.
And be kind to others. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing too. Even though people may be upset with you, or maybe not nice to you, be kind to them, because I find out too, when you're kind to them, then at least you don't have that emotional thing going on with yourself where you're feeling guilty, or even that God would say that this is not the right way to handle my other daughter. We need to be kind to ourselves and kind to others.
Tamika,
Okay, well, don't go away. I'm sure
for
you have
you.
more questions.
I
You do have a question? Okay, go ahead,
question.
Shelley.
Could you talk about the psychology of losing and gaining weight, why that keeps happening? Because people, even myself, I did it for years. I would lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight. And so can you talk a little bit about that and how to overcome, or things that women can do to overcome that?
Absolutely. And I touched on it very briefly initially when I kind of introduced myself, and I talked about the mind, the body, and the spirit, how it's really important to make that strong mind-body connection. Otherwise, you're neglecting a piece of yourself. So when it comes to the psychology of getting stuck in that cycle, we all know how to lose weight. Each and every one of us. We know how to get 10 pounds down, 20 plus pounds down, but how do you keep it off and embrace it and make it a lifestyle? You have to have that mind-body connection. And when I mentioned the other 5 dimensions of health, we focus on the outside, and we neglect the other areas, the emotional, the social, the financial, taking financial assessment along the way to see, do I have the capacity? Is there a deficit now? Assessing, children in the house. Maybe I can't join a gym because I have daycare fees. And like Lady O said, but you have access to a park that's nearby. So it's very important to consider yourself as a whole person and not just the physical being of yourself as a woman
Right.
or a man.
Correct. And I would just add on there too, because I know I have 4 children growing up, and I know the time is really, really difficult. But here's what I did. I had my kids in daycare, and so I would get off of work. I was teaching, so I would get off at 3:30. I would leave at 3:30, 3:35, and I would go and get my rest, do my laundry, whatever I need to do while they were still in daycare. I didn't go pick them up at daycare right away. I go do my grocery shopping. And the thing that I didn't do, which I could have done, I could have gone to the park and worked out. I could have definitely got my workout clothes at the job and left the job and went straight there and walked for 30 minutes. You can do it. You have to be creative. If you don't get off until 5 or 6 and daycare closes, because I was out at 4, you can bargain with a friend. Say, look, you keep my kids on Monday and I'll keep yours on Tuesday. And somebody who's got the like mind and like goals with you, you got to be creative. So if you have any more suggestions, put that in the chat box for our ladies that are on, that they can do if they are dealing with children, if they're single mothers, they don't have a support system. You have to. I know there are always excuses, but there's always a solution. You just got to get creative. You got to be determined. You got to get that mindset that I am going to do it. Set a schedule like we talked about a couple of weeks ago, and just do it. And don't let anything keep you from doing it, because you're looking at taking care of yourself first. Okay. So you said something a minute ago, and we're going to transition to our other guest that I thought was really, really unique, because we've all been on the diet before, right? How many of you been on the diet? Come on, tell me the truth. How many of you been to these fast food, paid this money, and you lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks? And then when you got off of it, you gained back 40. Can I just get an amen? Somebody testify. Those fad diets that don't work. So our next guest has a journey of being able to lose the weight and keep it off. And she didn't use the fad diet, and she didn't use extreme medical things that we go through either. So she has that experience. So Shelly, why don't you introduce her, and let's go ahead and listen to our next guest.
Yes. So the next guest is Cora Riles. And Cora, I call her a fitness enthusiast, because Cora has totally transformed her life with diet and exercise. And like you said, she didn't have any surgery, and she continues to keep it off by being focused not only on the diet, but it's the exercise too. It's both things have to work in cooperation with one another. And I just admire her so much. And that was the reason I wanted her to come on the show, so she could share her success with others and share how she made that transformation, so that other people can do the same thing.
Wonderful. Okay, let's meet her right now. Takora, would you come on, please? Hi. Welcome to Tea Talk. I'm excited to have you here. We cannot wait to hear your story. So I'm going to give it to you and let you go away with it.
Okay, well, can y'all hear me? Because I know we was having little problems.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so first I want to say thank you to Shelly and you for reaching out to me and grant me this opportunity to come onto this platform and talk to, thousands of women, hundreds of women. Basically, I'm just here to tell the women how my hardship turned into my inspiration.
Okay.
Like Tamika said, it had to start from the inside. And one thing that the biggest word that I hate is diet. I hate that word, because to me, diet, when you hear the word diet, people think of restriction. I'm on restriction. I can't have this. I can't have that. So what I like to consider it is a lifestyle change. It's a healthy lifestyle change. And you're walking into this lifestyle change, cleansing from the inside and allowing it to surface to the outside. Because if you're damaged on the inside, there's no way that it's going to surface to the outside.
Wow.
And one you have to believe is James 2:26. Faith without works is dead, right? So if you don't have faith work, then that lifestyle that you're starting on, this path that you're trying to do, is not going to prosper. The one thing that I had to realize is that I had to take self out. And that's a lot of things that people put in it is I. It's always I. But what about allowing God to take the lead and then putting yourself behind God and following Him? It states that when you have faith the size of a mustard seed, even the mountains got to move out the way. So I started my.
That's a beautiful picture. I mean, they put your picture up there, and I guess, can everybody see the picture?
That's me.
That's you. Okay, that's after losing. How much weight had you lost on there?
I went from 198 pounds, and in that picture, I was 148 pounds.
100. Oh, and there's another picture. Oh my goodness, I see on the left.
Yes,
198 pounds.
Yes, that is me. The before picture with me in a wedding gown, that is my 10th year anniversary. And that dress that I have on is a size 18.
18. Okay. And now look at the right-hand side. This is what floored me with this picture. How did you get your belly flat after wearing a size 18? You know, I'm wanting to hear this story. Did you have surgery, or what did you do?
Okay. I did not have surgery. I did not have liposuction. I did not have that. In my journey, after I had my son, I gained so much weight, and to the point to where I had scar tissue, excess skin that overlapped.
Okay. Okay.
I can't think of the word. I had to have a penectomy, which meant where they had to remove loose skin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they had to remove the loose skin, and that's a whole nother story. It's a whole nother story.
Right.
After I had removed, I told the doctors, you would not give me no tummy tuck. You would not lipo me. You would just move the scar tissue and that excess skin and let me start on my journey.
Mhm.
Well, during the time of that process, I went into a deep depression because now I felt like my body, even though I had that excess skin removed, in my mind, I wanted this perfect body.
Right.
So, and there's no such thing as a perfect body. There's no such thing. I don't care.
Exactly. You're never going to reach that.
No. I don't care how many times you lay on the table, you get snipped, you get tucked, you would never have the perfect body.
Exactly.
So
tell me, okay, so let me back up to make sure. I know you have such a long story, and we probably need to have you back to talk about a little bit more about cosmetic surgery and that kind of thing, because I know a lot of people are very interested in probably a little bit more detail. So kind of put your questions in there, guys. But I would just say, okay, so you went from 190 something down to 140 something. How did you do that?
as my coach taught me, Dara Patterson, proper preparation prevents poor performance, and you have to process. Trust in the process is when I think the trust in the process part comes from within. That's trusting it. You have to remember it is a marathon, not a sprint. And one thing, if I can piggyback off of Tamika, she stated that everybody knows how to lose weight. Nothing against her, nothing against that statement, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that knows how to lose weight, because everybody thinks it's the scale. Everybody thinks that they have to step on the scale. Everybody, it's a difference between eating clean and eating healthy. You know,
so is that how you lost your weight? Is just by changing, eating clean? Is that what it was? You went
Yes,
on a
ma'am.
strict clean diet?
A strict clean. When I say it was strict, Miss Lady O, it was strict. Because 80% of your weight loss, I mean, is in the kitchen. It starts with what you put inside your body. The other 20%,
Okay.
gym. You're going to the gym, and you have to get proper rest. If you're not getting proper rest, your body is not going to change because your body's tired. And as women,
Mm.
you can't starve yourself as a woman. A lot of women think if I take out carbs, if I don't eat this, and if I don't eat that, then I'm going to lose weight. Now you're starving your body. And your body, when you do feed yourself, and I had to learn this, when you do eat, now your body's holding on to it because it does not know when the next time it's going to eat. So it's holding on to that. So my thing,
Hmm.
you have to know the difference between eating healthy and eating clean.
So how did you learn how to eat clean? Because I'm like, I don't know how to diet. I don't really know how to lose weight. I don't know how to really eat clean. Was there a book, or was there recipes, or how did
Well,
you learn to eat clean? Did you always know it?
it was a fitness program because I was the
Okay.
same way. I tried to do it myself. I truly did not know the proper measures. So I joined this program called the Heat Challenge. And I joined that back in 2019. My start date was January 7th, 2019. And I was when I know my exact weight because I actually went and got it done. I went and got where you set into this bipod, and it tells you your fat percentage, everything, like your resting body weight and everything.
Yeah.
And so on January the 7th, I started my journey. I started with the Heat Challenge. It's out of Atlanta. My first Heat Challenge, I started with intermittent fasting. Only reason why I started with intermittent fasting,
It's
huh?
my internet went out for a minute. I'm sorry. It was what kind of challenge?
The Heat Challenge.
HEAT?
Yeah, HEAT.
Okay.
So let's see.
And you won it, right? Okay, go ahead. Show. Yeah, those are your pictures. Oh, you look beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I did my first challenge. My first challenge, I did IF, which was intermittent fasting. And I did that for spiritual reasons. I was an emotional eater. I just ate, and I didn't know I had to heal. I had to heal, and it was some things that I was holding on to. I had to go back and revisit that little girl. And a lot of women today, we don't want to revisit that little girl. And
The
I
little
had,
girl, there she comes.
yes, I had to go back and visit that little girl, which was myself. And I had to sit down and have a talk with her. But when I had a talk with her, I had to have God with me because I didn't know. I already knew facing that little girl, I was gonna have to do some forgiving. I was gonna have to do some letting go. I was gonna have to do things that I had allowed to break, to pick up,
Mhm.
to place it at the altar. Doors that had closed, I had to walk past them and not try to reopen them because God closed them for a reason. So
Mhm.
and visit that little girl. And once I found that little girl, that's when God started. He didn't heal me. He didn't put everything down at once in front of me. He did it
Okay.
by piece. So
Mhm. Mhm.
I went from 198 pounds to 175. And I want to tell you how the trick of the enemy worked. Once I got down to 175 pounds, oh, I'm healed, I'm fixed, I'm good, I can do this. Right when that challenge ended, I went out and I binged eat. I went out
Wow.
and I found myself going back into that space again. I knew then it's not over. I'm not done. I have more, God kept putting in front of me. I have more that I want you to do. I have more. So I signed
Yeah.
up for,
Yeah.
and when I signed up for a second round, that was the challenge that God said to me, I did not bring you this far to leave you. And when I put you in something, I want you are a winner. And so I went into that second challenge believing and knowing that I was a winner. And I came out the top.
Okay.
And I came out winning the top 5. I was the top transformation of my second heat challenge. I was presented with $5,000 in front of hundreds of people. Now, what I want y'all to understand is that I don't want y'all to think that that $5,000 was the reason that I did this, or that was my main reason, because that wasn't. That was a bonus. To me, that was the gift that said, okay, that was the gift that was like, to me, that God would say, here's the gift. Now I want you to keep on giving.
Right, right.
So,
Wow. Go ahead. I don't want to stop you. Go ahead. This is great.
one thing
So,
that I, go ahead.
so talk to us. So that time took about how many months, you say?
But for me to actually start seeing
When you were in the
changes,
second competition, you were in the second competition and you're at 175 and you went down to 140 something?
yeah, I went down to 148, and it was healthy. It was the right way. It was balanced. One thing that
There you go. Balance.
balance. One thing to me is, do you know how to maintain and have a healthy lifestyle balance when you're not in the gym, when you want to go out with your friends? Like,
Yeah.
if you just, something happened where you're out of the gym for 30 days, can you keep that weight off? Can you build your metabolism up to the point to where if you're stricken on bed rest, that you're not going back, you're not going backwards, you're still, you may not gain muscles, but you're not losing, nor are you gaining. And as women, I want to retract, we have to learn that we have hormones and our body changes. And when you start starving,
Mhm.
and when you start doing things to yourself, you throw your hormones off, and it also play a factor in your weight loss. When
Yeah.
you're stressing about stuff, you think, oh yeah, I lost 80 or I lost 30 pounds because I was stressed out. But when you healed and you came back to reality, you gained triple more back, because it wasn't
Right.
balanced, it wasn't proper preparation that led you into that weight loss.
Right. And you know what I'm hearing both of you all say is, and what I know it to be a fact, before you can lose the weight, you've got to lose some things in your mind. You've got to get some control and believe that you can do this. And if you don't believe that you can do it, if you don't believe that you're going to do it, you're not going to do it. And if you're doing it from day to day, just waiting to the day, like we just got off the Daniel fast, we're all just ready to go out and jump and get a piece of meat or something like that. But you have to get that control of yourself. And someone said on here earlier, I was trying to figure out who said it, but it's eat for, oh, there it is. Natty Janine, I'm sorry for Natay Janine said, eat for purpose. Why are you eating? You know, our country tells us we need 3 meals a day. You really don't need 3 meals a day. And we got to have this big breakfast, and lunchtime we got to have this big lunch, and the dinner we got to have this big dinner, and in between we got all these snacks. We're eating too much. Can you speak a little bit more about what would be a healthy meal that you were talking about? What was kind of the way you ate? What did your day look like? Tell me what a day would look like and what you would eat in planning for a healthy meal.
Okay, so let's do it. Let's say a healthy meal. Okay, instead of my fried chicken, I'm gonna have baked chicken. But I'm gonna season it the way that I would season that fried chicken. Okay,
Okay.
clean, clean, clean chicken. I'm going to not season it the way that I have seasoned that baked chicken that was once that fried chicken. If you're understanding. So
Okay, so you got your clean chicken and you got your chicken you like.
so you got your
If you're
bad
gonna
chicken,
eat clean,
you got your
yeah,
healthy chicken, then you got your clean chicken. So it's
your
three
clean chicken. So we talk about eating clean. I got you 3 different chickens. I got you.
about eating clean. So now I'm gonna pull the sodium from my chicken. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna cook it in vegetable oil. I'm not gonna cook it in all this extra stuff that is no that it's extra fat, extra carbs. I'm finna start balancing now. I'm finna say, okay, if I already cooked me a baked potato and I added olive oil, I'm not going to add olive oil to my baked chicken because now I got 2 fats on my plate.
Oh, you can't do the oil on the baked potato and the chicken? You just got to do it on one?
When you start, and I don't know if Tamika can agree, once you start putting stuff in, now you got to pull from somewhere to put back. You know what I'm saying?
To balance it, yeah.
To balance it out. So if I'm having bread, why am I going to have a baked potato with that bread?
Okay.
Now,
okay.
Carbs. Why do I have cheese, mashed potatoes, and a chicken? 2 carbs on my plate. So now I have to everybody about calories. Take calories out of it. And I'm finna say something that's gonna probably people gonna be like, well, what is that? And that's where you go into your research. You don't look at the calories, you look at your macros. That's MACROS, macros.
Now you know we don't know what that is. You gotta explain that.
Your fat and your
all
fiber.
I know is macaroni. Macros. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, macaroni. Then I thought you was about to spell macaroni and cheese. Okay, go ahead. I'm good.
So, I do carb cycling. My husband laughing.
I was getting hopeful here. Macro cheese. Okay, go ahead. You said
I do carb cycling, which considered as 6 balanced meals. And when people hear 6 meals, they be like, "Oh my God, that's a lot of food." It's not, because it's portioned out. I have
small portions.
portion control. I have a 5-ounce chicken breast, depending on what my protein called for. Now, me and you weigh 2 different weights, so and I'm going for something totally different. So I might need to have 5 ounces of chicken, and you may only need to have 3. So for my breakfast, I get up in the morning. I have me a cup of egg whites. The healthiest bread in the world is not wheat. Everybody think it's wheat bread because they see the word wheat. But
what is it, girl? Tell us what it is.
Ezekiel bread. It's in sections in.
I've heard of that before.
It's made out of, and you have to keep it frozen because it's made out of nothing but herbs and wheat, and it's not made out of yeast. So you have to keep it in the freezer. And then I have, which could be my energy. I eat every 2 to 3 hours. That's the way I started building up my metabolism.
Okay.
The beginning,
okay. Wait a minute. Before you move on from that, okay, you said a lot here. Okay, so those small healthy meals, clean meals, help to build your metabolism, which is a big component of losing weight. If your metabolism is not able to be strong enough to burn the calories, you still are fighting a losing battle. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am. I had to build. And I'm not gonna lie to you. In the beginning, it was hard because after I wasn't. If you're not hungry, you're supposed to be hungry because now your metabolism is building up, and that's a good thing. When people say, "Oh my God, I just ate my meal and 2 hours later I was hungry again," that is a good thing. That's what you want to see because now you know that your food is breaking down and your metabolism is building up. So in the beginning, it was hard.
Let's bring Tamika back on too, so she can comment as well. Tamika, come on back on. Can we put a 3-way here, Johnny, so we can get Tamika on here? Because I want you to jump in here and help us out now. Because I'm about to go with macaroni and cheese. But this.
So Coral is correct with the macronutrients, and that's basically what your body needs to survive. So we only need 3 things when we talk about survival. You need fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. So when she was saying, don't look at the calories, she's absolutely correct. She's saying, just look at the items that you need to survive. That's your fats, your proteins, and your carbs.
Okay, y'all saying fat. So y'all talking about putting butter on everything, getting a little butter
It's healthy fats out there. You got your avocado, you have your olive oil, you have your coconut oil. You just have to be careful with how you do those things. You don't want to have an avocado, then pour olive oil all on that avocado and say, okay, this is my healthy fat. You just added another fat on top of it. Now you're making your body work hard now.
Okay. And the avocados, y'all, I mean, I gave Pastor one the other day, and he said, I really like them because when I did a tortilla shell, that was a wheat one or whatever the one on the Daniel fast, I put the avocado on there and put some of those crumbles on there and some stuff, pico de gallo stuff, and made it like a taco. And he was really, really happy because the oil that from the avocado without putting anything in it it tastes very good. And it almost makes you feel like you got mayonnaise or some kind of fat because it is a fat and it's a healthy fat.
Absolutely.
Okay, y'all keep talking. Okay.
Like I'll give you an example. Like when you make tuna fish, some people like to put mayo. So let's just say you want, and mayo is perfectly okay because it is a fat. If it has to say real mayonnaise, right? It has to say real mayonnaise.
I love that. I love real
Hellmann's
mayonnaise. Okay, yeah.
So that's okay. And I like Hellmann's, but what I do with my tuna, I don't use mayo anymore. I use avocado, and I make me a green tuna sandwich because avocado is a healthy fat. So that's how you get creative and innovative with making healthy eating fun.
So avocado and just the tuna, mix it up. Do you put eggs and all that stuff in there too?
Yeah, whatever makes you happy as far as your seasoning, your extras, your eggs. Please don't say you put apples in there.
Okay, give us some more tidbits. That's good. I'm loving this. I will make that. I got some in there right now. We're good. Something else, guys.
You have to be careful with your fruit as well. Everybody think that, oh, I'm eating nothing but fruit and I'm doing good because it's fruit. But you also got to understand that a lot of fruit has sugar in it as well. It's a natural sugar. So my thing is when I eat my fruit, I try to eat it in the morning, which would be my energy. I try to eat it in the morning, and then through the rest of the day, I really don't go towards the fruit because of the high in sugar. If say for instance, if I happen to get hungry, I try to stay away from my carb, but I want to keep my fiber and my protein. Those are the two main important things, especially when you're losing weight, if you're trying to stay, as you've seen in one of my pictures, you're trying to keep your muscle definition. You want to keep a fiber and a protein. If you can kind of carb.
The fat, you said the fat and the protein. The fat and the protein you need to keep from muscle, because that's what a lot of people are concerned about. I'm going to lose my, muscle. So you need to keep the fat and the protein or the fiber and the protein. What did you say?
Oh, your protein and your fiber, which is your greens. So you have, a lot of people always say, well, what vegetables can I eat? I know a lot of fitness people, and Tamika probably can agree with me. A lot of fitness people go towards asparagus because of what it does, and the high in fiber. Yes, it makes your urine smell, but it's very good, and it also pulls that water as well. So
it acts as a diuretic.
Yeah,
it acts as a diuretic. It behaves as a diuretic, and yeah, it does that for you. But it's expensive too. So when we talk about financial wellness, that's some things that you have to consider. Me personally, I love broccoli and Brussels sprouts. If you're looking for like a leafy vegetable, I love broccoli. I love Brussels sprouts. So let's just say you're wanting to start, but you don't really want to measure, and you don't want to get too deep into counting your macronutrients. The best way to start, if I could just give you any advice, is to make sure half of your plate is veggies.
Okay.
The other half you're going to split in half, right? So half of it is going to be veggies. The other half you're going to cut it in half. So the quarter of it will be proteins. The other quarter should be carbs. That's a good place to start.
I got it.
Okay.
Wow. So the meat part would be the protein, right?
You have simple carbs and carbs. You need those. A lot of people think that if I take carbs out, carb is your energy. You need that. Carbs are your energy. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all gonna probably laugh, but I hate vegetables. I hate fish. Like, but a lot of people have to understand, and my husband, he laughs at this and he just don't agree. But you're eating for results. You're not eating for the taste.
Exactly. You got to
And
eat to live. I say eat to live, not live to eat. When you live to eat, you get fat and you die earlier. You know, you got all these diseases. But if, you know, so you don't live just to eat. When is the next meal? When is breakfast? When is this? You got to live to eat. Okay.
yeah.
I mean, eat to live. You have to eat. So with a purpose in mind, you're eating this so that you can live. You're eating this so that you can think well and look well and lose weight or whatever. You got to have a purpose in your eating. So you at your breakfast, why am I eating this morning? Not because it's feeling that emotional warm thing with me. It's because I need protein. I need to get my day started off right. That's why you're eating. So yes, food is fuel. And so Natage and Janine, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but anyway, she's got it going on. She's up with us. So let me just go to one other thing too. What's that?
That's the one that you keep saying. She's one of my biggest supporters. Her name is Nat.
How do you say her name?
She's in Canada right now. She lives in Canada, and I met her.
Oh, Canada's in the house. Okay.
I met her.
And how do you say her name? How do you pronounce her name?
I just call it Lady N, but I think it's Nat.
Lady N. Okay, Lady N. That'll be good. I just don't like to mispronounce people's name. But this is what I gotta get though, y'all. I gotta get this because a lot of people I know, they're into smoothies. They're into drinks for breakfast, protein drinks. So is there a protein powder you put in there? What? And I know a lot of people just put a whole bunch of fruit in there, and I know that's not good to be eating all that sugar. So talk to us about the smoothies and the fruit drinks in the morning.
I'll say this really quickly. I'm all for whole foods, natural foods, whole food. You do not. I don't use protein powder because it does something really bad to my tummy. But if you're looking to make a smoothie and you want a protein supplement, you can add like a little bit of yogurt, Greek yogurt. That's protein. Cottage cheese. That's an example. And also you can add like a 4th cup of raw oats to get the fiber. And a lot of people don't know that, believe it or not. Yeah.
Like the box of oatmeal you buy, you just get some of that out of the oatmeal box. Those are raw oats. And put it in there, and that gives you the fiber.
Yep.
Oh, I love it. I love those tidbits. Go ahead.
I don't believe in the smoothies either. It's not a good substitution. You still, because once you're actually taking in a liquid and you're not giving your body a chance to learn how to properly break that food down. So when you do intake real food, your body is like, okay, you've been drinking shakes for 30 days. Now you're trying to teach me how to break down this chicken, this turkey. Like you confuse.
Correct. And also, when you break food down, doesn't that help to burn calories?
I'll let Tamika answer that.
Say that again.
Okay. I was saying when your body has to break down food, isn't that burning calories as well?
Yes, that's a metabolic process. So you do that naturally. That's a form of calorie burning. And that's something that your body does automatically. So yes, you're absolutely correct, Lady O.
Okay. Do we have any questions, team? If y'all had any questions in the chat room that we need to answer? Okay. All right. Well, if nobody else has any questions, we are at 4 o'clock. Oh, we're about 2 minutes over. It's been great. I tell you, I have learned so much. Thank you all for sharing with us, and God bless you for what you do to help other people become healthy and whole. You are a blessing to the kingdom. And so we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for joining us today at Tea Talk.
Thank you.
Okay, so next week, ladies, we have another show for you on next week about, caring and self-care. And Pastor Johnny, if you can put that screen up there for me, we can talk about what we're going to talk about next week. Oh, does he have that ready? Okay. Well, anyway, let's just say bye. We're over our time, so we probably have to go. But thank you guys, and God bless you. Thank you for coming. Bye bye. Well, thank you for joining Tea Talk. We'll see you next week at 3 with Lady O. Drink lots of water. I have my water bottle here too. Instead of my tea cup, I have my water bottle.